Hi everyone, I hope everything is good. And if you followed my playlist, which is a JavaScript for web development, I think you're good enough to make the pages dynamic using JavaScript. So I'll wrap this session, that is JavaScript for web development, by taking one famous example, that is drumkit, where we can cover almost all topics of JavaScript. Without wasting time, let's get some knowledge. Okay, this is a initial HTML page and JavaScript and some styling. Okay, you can download this by following a link which is in our description. Okay, let's see how it looks. I wrote simple HTML and CSS code. See, there is a header, drumkit, and some letters. Okay, if I click on this, like W, A, S, D, J, K, L, nothing is happening. So what I'm going to do is, if I press this W using some mouse, or if I press W in a keyboard, some sound should come. Okay, some sound or some song should play. Okay, that we are going to do here. For that, I imported some sounds. You can find this in a resource section, which is in a description. These are some sounds I'm going to use, and these are some images you can use to change the background of every letter or every box. Okay, let's get started. Now what I'm going to do is, I'll get this button. If I click on that, something should pop up. So for that, I'll write code like document dot query selector. If it is a class name drum, see, for all these buttons the class name is drum. Instead of this, I can use a button like the tag name button, get that. But what if I'll have another button here? So we are ensuring that only these buttons are clicked. We should place some sound. So the document query selector dot drum, if I I'll add an event listener. If I click that, some function I'm writing, let's say some alert message I'm printing, like clicked. Okay, let's run this. See, clicked. And if I'll refresh. Okay, I just use a query selector, right? Only the first element. If I use a query selector all, so I should have a for loop. Like there are 7 elements, so 7 times I am executing this. Like let's say I have var I is equal to 0, I less than the length of a elements. Like our elements is 7, means button. So 7 times I am looping. For that, what I'm going to do is, I'll get this. Okay, I'll store that here like dot length. So the length will be stored in a L. So for I is equal to 0, I less than L, I'll increment. So within this I'll write this document dot query selector all, but we should use index because it will return a list, right? We should use index like 0th element, I mean first element, second element, like that. So let's run this. Let's say it's working. So it's clicked. Yeah, it's clicked. See, whatever the element we clicked, it's showing some alert message. So our code is working. Like if we click, something is happening. That something should be sound. Okay, so for that, what I'm going to do is, let's say if this button gets clicked, I'm getting this text. Based on that, I'm playing some sounds, like if it is W, crash, if it is a kick, bass, like that. For that there is a this reference, means whatever the elements gets clicked, that will store in a this. So in this, I'm getting that inner HTML. Okay, and I'm storing in a, let's say it's a text, right? I'm storing in a text. Okay, I'm passing this text for to any function, like let's say make some sound. Okay, make some sound, txt. Okay, before this, let's ensure that elements is coming, like console.log of txt. Okay, see, I'll open an inspect page. In a console, if I press this W, A, S, D, J, K, L, so everything is working perfectly. So I'll pass this text to some function. I'll write that function outside this for loop. Function name is make sound, and let's say it's a txt only. For this within this function, I'm going to use a switch loop, because every time we can't use, like, if this is the case, do this, or else if. Rather than that, we have a switch. What I'm going to use, txt. My case will be if it is a W. Okay, if it is a W, I'm going to play some music, like let's say crash. For that, we have one constructor in a JavaScript. Let's say there is a audio. Okay, where audio equal to, I'm going to use a audio constructor. Within this, I'm going to pass a path, like within a sounds, it's a crash, right? Crash.mp3, and I'm going to play that. I'm just breaking that switch. Okay, this is how it works. Let's see for W. Can you hear? Yes. So I will do for every element like this. Like we have 7 elements, right? Okay, 1, 2, 3, and we have 4, 5, 6, and one more. Control V and hey, what happened? This is the case. Okay, see, we have WASDJKL, WASDJK, and we have a L. Okay, so for variables also I'll use like it's a first one. Okay, it's a second one, it's a third one, and fourth, audio fifth, and sixth, and seventh. Okay, and sounds we have to change, right? See, this is a kick bass, bass, then snare, then if D is pressed, it's a tom-1. These sounds you can find in a resource section in a description, tom2 and tom3, and last one is tom4. Tom-4. Okay, so it's making sound. See, let's run. Some sound is coming, right? See, it's working. Okay, as of now, what we did is, if we press any button using a mouse, some sound is coming. Okay, some audio is playing. But what if some key is pressed in a keyboard, like if W is pressed, or A, S, D, J, K, L, if that is pressed, the audio that is attached to that should play. So I'm going to write a code for that. See, this is a whole document, right? There's no need of placing any cursor. So if I press W, that audio should play. Whatever, like wherever the cursor is, if I press A, this audio should play. So for that, I'll use a document, whole document, and I'm going to use a listener instance method. And what's my event? It's a key press. See, it's a key press. And same, I'm going to write a function. Within this function, I'll just use this make sound dot text, the function, this function. But instead of txt, I should send like wa, like that, right? So for that, we have e or event, anything. I'm capturing that event in a function with the name e, and I'm going to use e dot key. It will store like w, like that. Okay, let's see whether it's working or not. Okay, when I press using a mouse, it's working. See, if I press using a mouse, this sound is coming. But I'm not placing a cursor there. If I press a W in a keyboard, that sound is coming. See, A, S, D, F. See, I'm pressing F, but sound is not coming because we wrote code for only these letters. If I press H, no sound. J, K, L. J, K, L. Our code is working. So this is how you can add a sound whenever, like for different events like click event or key press event, like that. Okay, this is about a drum kit, and we can add animations also. For that, let's quickly see some animation. I'll use animation effect. Animation, some function it's my user defined function, so it should be like anim. Okay, why it's coming like that? Anim. Okay, I'll pass this text. I'm defining that function here, like let's say anim and our text. So if I press on this W, see, there is no effect, like we can't tell that this button is pressed. So I'm going to add an animation, like if we press that button, some animation should happen. So for that, what I'm going to do is, so this is the text, okay, but I'll add some CSS to that. So for that, what I'm going to do is, let's add one class and use in our CSS. So document dot, I'm querying that whatever the element is pressed in a text, it's a W, right? It's a inner HTML, right? If I press W, it's only W, but the class name is, it's not only a W, we have to use dot plus W, right? Do you understand this? This text, usually if I want this, I should use query selector dot W or dot A, like that, right? Because it's a class name. So text contains W, but there is no dot. So I'm going to append that, and I'm going to get a class list of classes, okay? And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to add one more class, which is let's say it's a shadow one. Okay, it's a shadow one. That's it. I'm going to add that. If I press W, I'm going to get that, and I'm going to add a shadow effect. Okay, for that, I'm going to add a shadow here. Let's say there is a shadow class. It's like adding a coloring or something using JavaScript and CSS, like adding a classes. So dot shadow, what I'm going to do is some box shadow, some 0 3 pixels, some 4 pixels, let's say some 0 pixels, and the color is, let's say, blue or black, blue. Okay, it's a blue, and my opacity is 0.5. Okay, let's run this. If I press W, see, some blue color is appearing. Okay, let's change that color. Let's say red to differentiate, I mean to let you know. See, I'll refresh this. If I press W, some color is happening. Okay, we can't. Opacity. Okay, I'll change my background color. I'll change my background color to some blue. Can we see the difference now? No. Box shadow, and it's a 0 pixels, 4 pixels. Let's see, should we use a pixels here? No, right? No, not required. Okay, 4 pixels. You can observe, right? Red. Okay, let's use yellow only, because red and yellow are opposite. We can okay. Since I used the opacity 0.5, it's coming like that. Let's say it's 1 only. See, you can observe, right? See the W, the A, yes, some difference. If I press W, some shadow, some box shadow is adding. So, but see, if I press W and if I press A, the W, the shadow is not disappearing, because here we have to remove that. We have to remove. Okay, I'll use this. Control C, Control V. I'm going to remove that class. But when we have to remove, there is a SetTimeout function we can use, and function, within this function I'm going to remove that, and for 100 milliseconds it should be there, like the coloring should be there, 100 milliseconds. Okay, let's see now. I press W, see, okay, it's working. If I press yes, it will stay for like 100 milliseconds, the shadow, and it's disappearing. Now we can say I'll use a key. Yeah, yes. If I press keys, it's not like the box shadow is not coming, because we didn't add an anime effect here. Okay, Control C, and now let's check. I'll use keys W. Oh no, also it's not. Okay, we have to use E dot key, right? E dot key. Let's see now. W. See, yeah, I'm using keys D, J, K, L. Okay, W A S D J K L, W A S D J. Yeah, this is about drumkit, where we cover almost all topics of JavaScript. Okay, I'll wrap the JavaScript for web development course here. If you still didn't watch the playlist, like the JavaScript for web development course, please find the link in the description, and make sure that while going to the video, after watching the video, you should practice. Otherwise, it won't last for a long time. You'll just forget like after 2 to 3 days. So make sure you practice the code, whether you feel it's a easy one. Make sure you practice, so that you will understand every line, every word you'll understand. So this is about JavaScript for web development. Next, I'm going to do Swagger, where we'll discuss about, okay, I'll explain that I'll explain later. like what I'm going to do. My next topic is Swagger. See you there. Bye. Thank you.